What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday. I'm back. I was kind of looking around, trying to figure out what I was going to cover today. I do have my coffee, by the way. I saw this one pop up, and I thought it looked interesting. The artist's name is RORY. The song's called In the Bible. Should be interesting. I grew up the son of a preacher. I know a fair few things about the Bible. Should be an interesting thing to listen to. We'll get into it just a second. Before I do, please bear in mind a couple things. One, I'm not a vocal coach. I'm not a professional guitar teacher. I just do this for fun. So please don't expect me to be too in the weeds on the composition. And let's all try to be kind to one another in the comments. Particularly me. Be nice to me. This is my channel. I don't mind if you disagree with me. I imagine there may be some religious-based conversations happening, and that's fine. But again, let's try to keep it above board, shall we? With that out of the way, let's get into it. This is In the Bible by RORY.
In the Bible it said God would send a fool to shame the wise. You still didn't see me coming, did ya? Surprise. My demons can't stop them alone. I got no future. I learned my lessons. Turn my curse to my blessings are broken. Hallelujah. In the Bible it said God would send a fool to shame the wise. You still didn't see me coming, did ya? Surprise, not a preacher, not a pastor. I ain't lived a righteous life. Just an addict on their knees with their face towards the light. When it hits you hard, it'll tear you apart. Everything you lost will be restored. Everything you lost is still yours. When the light is gone, you're barely holding on. Everything you lost will be restored. Everything you lost is still yours. I'm one of 20 million people taking antidepressants, and when I wasn't, I was drinking every day to numb the depression. I feel inside all the time. Take this pill and you'll be alright. Tell me, why is the suicide rate so high for people under 35? But I need to be told that I could live forever. I just needed a little bit of hope, that maybe things could get better one day. I know that hell's real, I lived there for 20 years. I know that heaven's real too, it's right here. When it hits you hard, it'll tear you apart. Everything you lost will be restored. Everything you lost is still yours. When the light is gone, you're barely holding on. Everything you lost will be restored. Everything you lost is not broken, not hopeless. You're meant for something more. Arms are open, it's spoken. You will be restored. It's still yours. It's still yours. Not broken, not hopeless. Meant for something more. Arms open, it's spoken. You will be restored.
I will also T-pose. I know I'm being a little bit disrespectful, but I earned the right. My dad is a preacher. Okay, so we'll start with the music. I mean, she's channeling her best Evanescence. It's not bad, right? It's sort of this, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of symphonic metal. It's not really, because it's not really metal. It's sort of like heavy worship music, right? Like the cool youth minister would play. Which, speaking of, Evanescence, Christian band. True story. Actual true story. I took acting lessons from the mother of the guitarist in Evanescence. They are from where I used to live. That's neither here nor there. It's just an interesting fact. It's Skillet. Skillet's heavier than this. I doesn't have to be heavy. I don't know what the point was. I assume this was meant to be like a powerful music to go with the lyrics. The lyrics were okay. There were a couple really clunky. That little spoken word portion, I know it was supposed to be cool, and it was close. It could have been. I think putting surprise on the end of it really ruined it. It's sort of instead of leaving room for that to just sit, you sort of put a cap on the expression, and I don't think it helps. Her voice is fine. I have no idea what it sounds like live, but it doesn't sound like they had to do too much in post to make it sound right. So good for her. To talk about some of the content of the song now. First of all, addiction is a real problem. I'm not here to dismiss anybody's addiction, and I'm not here to dismiss the lifeline that people in addiction find in religion. I am going to say a couple things, though, both about religion and about what she was sort of alluding to. It does seem like she maybe is antidepressant. She mentioned that she was on them, and then when she wasn't, she was drinking. And why is the suicide rate or suicide ideation of people under 35 so high? Trigger warning, obviously. So a couple things. First of all, being antidepressant puts you in squarely Alex Jones InfoWars conspiracy territory. If you want to be there, you can be there. It's a bad place to be. Antidepressants are fine. They are widely studied and widely taken. I don't say that there's no negative consequences, and certainly some people have adverse reactions to their antidepressant. But by and large, if a professional tells you that you should be on something to stabilize your mood, it's for your own health and for your own protection. You, like me, at one point in my life, may not want to be protected from yourself, but you should be, right? There are people smarter than you and smarter than me who can see what's going on and know that, like, you and I, we're not seeing things clearly. We don't really know what's going on because we're too here, right? And having somebody with an outside perspective, maybe somebody with a lot of practice and experience seeing people with similar issues, there's value to that. So those people are doing their best in the vast majority of cases. Not all, but most. As far as the suicide under 35 thing, you could say, well, it's because we've abandoned God in society. You could say that. I was a Christian. I was very committed, very, very conservative, young earth, baptism only Christian. Okay? And I wanted to die for upwards of a decade. I did take some steps in that direction, but not as many as I needed to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video today, right? You could say it's because of God. You could also say our generation is growing up seeing a world that is rapidly becoming less habitable and seeing conflict globally in a way that people never have before because of the internet and TikTok and various social media platforms. You could say that might be a factor. You could say that the lack of prospects could be a factor, right? You are growing up, going through high school, going to college so that you can get into debt, and then what? What are you going to do, right? People want fulfillment. That's one of the things religion offers you, by the way. It doesn't matter what job you have. It doesn't matter what, whether you're hot or married. That's not true. A lot of religions, it does matter a lot if you're married. But it doesn't matter if your life is going all that well, because life is just ephemeral, right? It's just a Snapchat. Tell me there's not preachers using Snapchat as a message of reference for life. Because I will charge for that idea. But that's sort of how many religions, not just Christianity, although she's very explicitly talking about just Christianity, many religions offer you a way to escape the mundanity of life. Okay, so you live in the middle of nowhere and you don't have that great health and you work at a Kroger part-time bagging groceries and you barely make enough money to pay the rent. But God loves you and has saved you. Look at me, I look like Jesus. White Jesus, specifically, right? Peace be upon you, my child. I have heard your cries, and I have come to bring you peace. I say this mockingly a little bit. It's not totally a bad thing. There's a reason Marx said religion is the opiate of the masses, right? It does soothe you. It does say, I don't have to worry about this. And there is some value to that, right? Getting some perspective on, yeah, my job sucks, but, there's bigger things going on than just my job. I don't know anything about her theology, right? I can't really speak to that beyond what I've heard in this song. I would caution anybody out there, okay? I have dated addicts in the past. I know a thing or two about addiction. And if you are in addiction, first of all, get whatever help you need, right? Take care of yourself. Addiction is a dangerous place. It is unhealthy. It will destroy your relationships with the people that matter to you, and it could kill you. So, by all means, whatever that looks like, go get help. But what a psychiatrist, what a therapist, maybe not a psychiatrist, what a therapist would tell you about addiction is that usually people are using addiction to cover up a part of their life that they can't or won't deal with. Maybe that's trauma, maybe that's disappointment, right? Maybe that's self-loathing, whatever it is, right? Did you lose a friend? Did you get molested? Did did your parents die in a wreck, right? There are a lot of inciting. Did you get hurt, right? I just did a Knox Hill video talking about fentanyl a few days ago. Did you get injured? And maybe you got addicted because of an injury, right? That's a different problem. But what you need to do in order to move through recovery and avoid relapsing or becoming addicted to something else to replace that is deal with the whole, right? A lot of people go from being addicted to meth or coke or opiates or whatever to being addicted to Jesus. And that sounds like not a bad thing, right? How bad could that be? You're addicted to Jesus. Jesus is great, love your neighbor, etc. But you haven't actually fixed or addressed what's causing the addictive behavior, right? It's not so much about what you're addicted to. It's about why you are addicted, why you are allowing this to rule your life. And even with religion, that can be dangerous, right? It can make you incredibly unpleasant to be around. But it can also affect your life in other ways if you're not careful. So if you're in addiction, my condolences. That's a hard place to be. Whether you chose it or whether it was sort of chosen for you, I don't care. I'm not here to moralize. I want people to be safe. I want people to take care of themselves. That's what I care about, so keep yourself safe. I would not recommend using God to get clean. I don't think that is a healthy or sustainable method. And I don't mean just Christian God, whatever God. I may do another one from her. I'm kind of interested to see what her particular worldview is. This was not like music that I'm very much into, but you know, she seems to have sort of an outsider story, entry to Christianity. So we shall see. There may be more Rory in the future. For now, though, I'm going to call it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Hopefully I didn't insult anybody's faith too deeply. Like I said, I myself was a serious Christian, so I do understand a fair amount. But I gotta be honest. That's one of the main things. That's one of the reasons my channel is not successful. It's because of my commitment to honesty. Have a good day. Be good to each other. Drink lots of water. And don't talk to cops.